Okay, friends, it's officially garlic planting season. So in this video, I'm going to show you the simplest way to plant and grow garlic, but even more importantly, what this process teaches us about walking with God. So let's dig in. First, you want to take your bulb and separate all the cloves. It never ceases to amaze me that from one little clove, we get an entire bulb of garlic. Isn't that so incredible? But how does this even happen? It happens through vernalization, the process of using a period of cold exposure to stimulate flowering in plants. This process is also needed for a lot of flower varieties. In order for the seed to germinate successfully, it needs to be exposed to freezing temps for an extended period of time. Now, once you've separated the cloves, you have to peel them. And this can take a while because the layers aren't always willing to peel away easily. Before we put anything in the ground, we have to pray, because nothing can be done without the Lord. Counsels on Agriculture says, the earth is to be made to give forth its strength, but without the blessing of God, it can do nothing. He who taught Adam and Eve how to tend the garden desires to instruct men today. Let them move forward courageously, trusting in Him to supply their needs according to the riches of His goodness. He has created all things and sustains all things, and He will bless your efforts and work with you in the garden if you put your trust in Him. Now, once you've peeled your garlic and prayed for the Lord's blessings on your efforts, you'll need to make holes 6 inches apart and no more than 2 to 3 inches in depth. In each hole, you're going to mix in 3 tablespoons of fertilizer. My favorite is the Organic Plant Tone All-Purpose Blend. I'm going to put it in the description down below if you're looking for a well-rounded fertilizer. I also use it for my flowers. After you've mixed in your fertilizer, insert your cloves into the holes, cover them up, give them a good water, add a nice layer of soil or wood chips on top, and you're done. When planting in the fall, you won't need to water again until later in the spring once the green shoots begin to appear above the soil. And that's it. So now what about the spiritual lesson? Just like garlic, God sometimes needs to separate us from the group and begin the process of peeling away the faults in our characters, which, as we noted earlier, is not an easy process. And to ensure that we grow into the full bulbs He would have us to be, separate from others and whole in Him alone, He puts us through a prolonged period of hardship or cold exposure to stimulate the growth and refinement our characters need. Paul tells us in Romans 5:3 and 4, and not only this, but we also exult in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation brings about perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope. And he tells us again in Hebrews 12:6 and 11, for those whom the Lord loves, He disciplines, and He scourges every son whom He receives. All discipline for the moment seems not to be joyful, but sorrowful. Yet to those who have been trained by it, afterwards it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. So we are reassured from the Word that these periods of hardship are only present to bring forth the fruits of righteousness in our character, fitting us for the kingdom. And when all is done, we emerge whole in Him. When the garlic clove goes into its hard season, it doesn't complain, it doesn't fight the process, it submits and does what it was created to do. So many of us have not reached our full potential in Christ because we are not willing to wholly surrender to Him. That is the only way that we can become the complete bulbs that He would have us to be. So what's it going to be? Are you ready to wholly surrender to Christ today? I don't know about you, but it is my prayer that Jesus will give me the strength to fully surrender and root me deeply in Him. I so much desire to be that tree spoken of in Psalms 1 verse 3, a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season and its leaf does not wither. Jesus is coming back so soon. Let's spend time with Him in His Word and in prayer every day and know Him for ourselves. And as we come to know Him, our lives and homes will reflect this relationship, turning us into beacons of light for Jesus. This is my continued prayer for you and for myself. And that's it for today, friends. If you want more lessons from the garden like this, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. And prayerfully, I will see you in the next one. Bye.